Close your eyes, breathe slowly, let the air move softly, in and out, like a gentle wave against the shore. Now, picture a bright Chicago summer. The year is 1941. The city hums with energy, with movement, with life. And somewhere in that vast, breathing city, a baby is born. His name, Emmett Louis Till. A name that begins with warmth, a name that will echo far beyond his years. He is a child full of light, laughter spilling like music down the block. His smile wide, unguarded, innocent. He plays on crowded sidewalks, the rhythm of the city, his playground. His mother, Mamie, watches over him with love so deep it glows. She dreams for him, hopes for him, in a world that often felt heavy for people with their skin. But to Emmett, the world was joy. The world was discovery. Neighbors remember his mischievous grin, the way he made friends easily, the way his voice carried happiness into any room. He was playful, kind, full of endless energy. He loved jokes, he loved stories, he loved life. And in those tender years, who could imagine that this boy, this precious boy, would become more than a son, more than a friend. He would become a symbol, a spark, a reminder carved into the heart of America. Yet for now, he is simply Emmett, simply a child, simply a boy from Chicago, his future unwritten, his laughter still rising into the warm summer air. Listen closely. Can you hear it? The echoes of his joy, floating, lingering, soft, eternal. Take another slow breath. Let it fall gently. Feel the stillness inside you. Now imagine, it is the summer of 1955. Emmett is 14 years old. He has grown taller, stronger, still carrying that bright Chicago laughter with him. His world has been city streets, bustling trains, tall buildings, a life alive with sound and rhythm. But now, he prepares for a journey, a trip to Mississippi, the land of his mother's roots, a place far away and so very different from the world he knows. The South, heavy with heat and history, the air thick with the weight of segregation, invisible lines that divide people, laws that tell you where you may walk, where you may sit, how you may live. Emmett, young and curious, doesn't fully understand it all. He is still a boy who believes the world is open, welcoming, full of possibility. His mother warns him, gently but firmly, "Be careful, Beau. Mind your words. Mind your smile." She fears the South, not for its beauty, but for its cruelty. She knows the dangers that wait in silence there. But Emmett, with his light spirit, doesn't let fear dim his joy. He is eager to see cousins, uncles, a world of cotton fields and country roads. The train ride stretches long, carrying him further from the safety of Chicago, deeper into the shadows of Mississippi nights. He laughs with family, his suitcase filled with clothes, his heart filled with adventure. He is simply a boy on a summer trip, unaware that the ground beneath him is shifting, that history itself is quietly watching, waiting, breathing for what is to come. Breathe in, hold it softly, and let it fall like a whisper into the night. We are in Money, Mississippi, a small town, quiet, slow, heavy with August heat. Emmett, full of youthful confidence, full of playful charm, steps into a little country store, Bryant's Grocery, the shelves lined with candy, soda, the simple delights of a summer afternoon. He is only 14, curious, innocent, perhaps bold in ways only a child can be. And then, an encounter, a moment so small yet so powerful, it will soon unravel into tragedy. A white woman, Carolyn Bryant, stands behind the counter. What happened next remains wrapped in fog and memory. Some say Emmett whistled, some say he smiled. Perhaps he spoke, perhaps he did nothing at all. The truth is blurred by fear, by silence, by the twisting of stories told later. But her claim, her words, cut like a blade through the fragile air of the South. She says he offended her. She says he crossed a line. And in 1955 Mississippi, such an accusation was not a whisper. It was a storm. A spark of hatred ignites. Quiet at first, but deadly. In that moment, the ordinary rhythms of a boy's summer trip are shattered. The laughter of cousins fades into uneasy silence. Family members grow tense, nervous. They know the danger, the cruelty that can follow. Emmett, still young, still unaware of the depth of hate, brushes it aside with a grin. But the air grows heavy. The night ahead grows darker, and the shadow of violence begins to stretch its hand toward him. Let your breath slow. Let your body sink deeper into stillness. The night is heavy now, Mississippi air thick with silence. The clock moves past midnight, and the world outside sleeps, but not all. Not all. A sudden knock, sharp, demanding. The door opens to shadows, men with guns, with rage burning in their eyes. They call Emmett's name, 14 years old, still half dreaming, still just a boy. He is torn from the safety of his uncle's home, pulled into the night. The darkness swallows him whole. The truck rattles down lonely roads, gravel crunching beneath its tires. Emmett sits in fear, though perhaps he still believes, still hopes, it will be a scolding, a warning. He does not yet know the cruelty waiting ahead. And then the beating begins. Fists, weapons, hatred poured into every strike. Blow after blow, his body breaking, his spirit tested. The night echoes with his cries, swallowed quickly by the trees, the fields, the silence of a world that looked away too long. He is dragged, tortured, brutalized. The violence is merciless, the cruelty beyond words. At last, the river waits, dark, endless, cold. His young body bound, weighed down, silenced. The water closes in around him, taking him into its depths. The night returns to stillness, but it is not the same. It will never be the same. The land holds the memory now. The air carries the weight, and though the world does not yet know, history has shifted forever. Breathe in slowly. Let the air settle in your chest, and now release it, gently, softly, because what comes next is a mother's grief and a mother's power. News travels north, carried by phone calls, whispers, and trembling voices. Mamie Till-Mobley, Emmett's mother, hears the words no parent should ever hear. Her boy, her only child, is gone. Her heart cracks wide open. Her body bends beneath the weight of sorrow. Yet even in her deepest pain, she finds something greater than herself, something unshakable: courage. When Emmett's body returns to Chicago, broken, beaten, barely recognizable, Mamie is faced with a choice. She could close the casket, she could hide the brutality, protect the world from the sight of such cruelty, but instead, she opens it wide. She says, with a voice both trembling and fierce, "Let the world see what they did to my boy." Thousands gather. They file past his coffin. They gasp. They weep. They cannot look away. Newspapers print the photographs. The images spread across the nation, across oceans, and the silence that once protected hatred shatters. For the first time, millions are forced to look at the raw, undeniable face of racial violence in America. Mamie stands strong, though her heart is in pieces. She speaks with love, with grief, with defiance. Her courage turns private pain into public power, and through her, Emmett's voice is not silenced. It rises, it calls out, it demands justice, it demands change. The courtroom is crowded, the air thick with whispers, stares, and unspoken truths. Reporters sit with pens poised. The world is watching, but the scales of justice here are already broken. Emmett's killers sit before the jury, their faces calm, almost smug, and the jurors, all white, all men, hold his fate in their hands. Witnesses take the stand. Trembling voices describe the kidnapping, the beating, the horror of that night. A cousin, brave yet burdened, points directly at the men. "They are the ones," he says. The words hang heavy, undeniable, but truth alone is not enough here. Not in Mississippi, not in 1955. The defense twists, sneers, mocks. They paint lies with smooth tones, wrapping cruelty in excuses. They call Emmett's murder a misunderstanding. They insist there is no proof. even as the boy's body tells a story written in blood, in scars, in silence too loud to ignore. And then, after only 67 minutes, the jury returns. Not guilty. The words fall like stones, cold, merciless, final. The men smile, shake hands, walk free. Emmett's life stolen, his killers untouched. Justice has turned its back, but something else stirs. The world has seen, the world has heard, and though this courtroom shuts its doors on truth, a deeper trial has begun. One carried in the hearts of millions, one that will not rest until the wound has a voice, until the silence is broken forever. The trial ends. The killers walk free. And yet, the story of Emmett Till refuses to fade into silence. It spreads like fire, carried by photographs, by whispers, by the trembling voices of those who saw his broken body. The world can no longer look away. The cruelty of one night in Mississippi becomes the mirror of a nation's soul. In Montgomery, Alabama, a quiet seamstress boards a bus. Rosa Parks, her body weary, her spirit strong. When the driver orders her to stand, to give up her seat, she remembers the boy from Chicago. She remembers Emmett, and she does not move. She sits in defiance, her courage flowing from the same wound, the same sorrow, the same fire that Mamie Till lit when she opened that coffin. From that spark, marches begin, protests rise, churches fill with songs of hope and prayers for justice. Young voices and old join together, demanding change, demanding dignity, demanding a world where no child suffers as Emmett did. Leaders step forward. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. lifts his voice into the air, carrying Emmett's memory with every word, every plea, every dream. The streets of America begin to shake with footsteps, signs lifted high, fists raised toward the sky. The civil rights movement is no longer just a whisper, it is a roar, and in its heart, in its beginning, is the face of a boy who never reached manhood, a boy named Emmett Till, whose death became a seed of awakening for a nation that could not remain asleep any longer. Years pass, decades drift by, but the name Emmett Till still lingers, like a whisper carried on the wind. His story is retold in classrooms, in sermons, in songs sung softly at night. His photograph, once a shock to the world, becomes a reminder of the cost of silence, the price of hate, the weight of injustice. Monuments rise, memorials stand in quiet fields of Mississippi, in the busy streets of Chicago. Voices gather to speak his name, to honor his life, to promise never to forget. His mother, Mamie, though gone now, lives on in her choice, in her strength, in her love, the love that opened a casket and changed the world. Even in courts and Congress halls, his memory returns. Laws are passed in his name. The Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act, finally written into history, decades too late, but still a mark of justice's long and winding road. His story continues to echo in marches for Black lives, in chants for freedom, in every step taken toward equality. Emmett Till, forever 14, his laughter frozen in time, his innocence stolen, yet his spirit unbroken. Through his tragedy, a movement was born. Through his suffering, a nation began to awaken. And though the years move on, though the seasons change, his name remains, whispered softly, carried gently. Emmett Till, a boy from Chicago, whose story shook the soul of a nation, and still does, even now.